247?
Just caught me right as I was just hit the button start. I think it is 247. Yes.
Are we live, pal?
So, yeah, we are live. He just like
You son of a bitch.
you like he's like all right, ready, we're gonna go, and he's like, wait, what's the
I'm
episode?
happy to be live.
That's cool.
I'm happy to be live. I am grateful to be live in these fucking times that we find ourselves in, Anthony.
Oh man.
But let's not dwell on this, because every other podcast, I would dare even call us a media outlet. They're all going to be talking about this quarantine situation and this virus. So let's steer away from it, except for where it's absolutely relevant in the things that we're talking about. Like, let's not just talk about it to fucking talk about it like every other motherfucker on the internet. Let's not do that, Anthony.
Why not? I'm happy with the coronavirus. I love it. This is like the best time ever in my life. I think it's so much fun, and it makes me laugh when I see those people running outside just passing the virus back and forth to each other. So
stop.
Yeah.
Okay, like I'm gonna flat say that again. I have no real opinion on this, because I know what it's like to be an expert in something and still feel like I'm learning about it every single day. And I'm not a doctor. I'm not a social engineer of any kind. I don't want to say what's going on with this pandemic situation. It's almost impossible to not look stupid in hindsight by talking about it, honestly.
right.
Like, unless you are an expert, and even if you are an expert, like, and the one thing is, maybe you get lucky and you say something as like a guess or a brainstorm, and it turns out to be right, and then everybody can be like, oh, he knew all along. Meanwhile, you're just throwing out fucking ideas and sticks against the wall. Like, I'm not gonna do all that shit.
Right.
I'm just crossing my fingers and hoping for the best. And the only thing that I'll say that I'm doing that's slightly out of character, I would say that there's one thing I'm doing that is out of character, and that would be going along with what everybody else is doing. Because normally, when everybody does one thing, I go the fucking other direction and I go there hard. I've refrained from doing that. One, I don't know what's right and wrong here. Two, I think that the people that I live with and that I work with have an opinion on it, and I want to respect their opinion. And so I don't give a fuck, except for I give a fuck. Does that make sense?
I get what you're saying.
It's like,
yeah. I mean,
like I don't want to press the issue of like, maybe it's this or maybe it's that, or maybe we should all act this way. I don't fucking know. What I do know is that I find myself with a lot more time on my hands, and it makes me want to create. It makes me want to contribute, and those are the kinds of things that I'm focused on right now. I'm not trying to solve the big questions. Like, a long time ago, actually, I was talking to one of my homies. Shout out to my homie Kobe. Shout out to Kobe the Don on Instagram. If you don't know about Kobe, you need to follow Kobe right now. He's a fucking wild dude, an amazing fighter, a prospect. And I told him that, like, I don't wrestle with what I would call the big questions. Like, why are we here? Is there a God? I don't wrestle with these questions anymore, because I realized that I spent a great deal of my time thinking about those and working those through, and not doing other things that would have been productive for my actual day-to-day life. And so I was like, let me put down these big questions. And that's what I mean by I don't give a fuck. Not like I'm not sensitive to the nature of this virus and the seriousness of it. It's like, I know that I can't do very much about it. It's a big issue. I put down big issues. I'm going to focus on micro issues that I can actually fucking control. My room is clean, motherfucker. Like, that's what I'm trying to do. Like, I'm trying to organize my broken ass life so that I can be of more service to others. I'm not worried about the big questions, because I know that smarter, more informed people are. So I'm just trying to stay the fuck out of their way.
I was just gonna ask you. It's like, what are you doing? What are you gonna be doing with the free time now? What do you think? What new skills you're gonna learn? That's all.
I don't know about new. I think it's more about like development. So I've been playing more guitar. Mm-hmm. I was literally, like, you saw, like, right when we are about to go live, I had the guitar on my lap.
Yeah.
Because as we were struggling with technical issues, I started playing guitar and watching weird Mexican horror movies, which I'm still watching in a passive way. It's just on the screen behind the lights.
Yeah.
So I'm developing guitar. I might be launching another podcast with with some people that you could probably infer yourselves, but I'm not gonna fucking spoil nothing. And just acquiring the skills necessary to do that. Like, I want to be more capable of video editing and fucking creating content, distributing that content. Like, I don't know how to put a podcast on the internet yet. But guess who's going to teach me, Anthony?
You can ask me if you want, or somebody else.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like, I haven't learned that yet because I'm going to learn it from you.
Yeah.
Right? Or at least if it takes too much of your time, have you point me in the direction of what I need to read up on and what I need to study.
It's like 10 things. We can do it.
So, respect.
Yeah.
So, like, that's the thing. So, like, I want to continue to do shit like that. I don't know if I want to do anything that's brand new because there's so much that I have a little bit in that's fucking underdeveloped. Now, what about you?
That's fair. Right now I'm just using this time to like finish school and then do some more Korean food, like learning and cooking. So been going to the Asian shops, which is surprisingly the best thing to do right now. Support the Asians. That's the best move right now because it's like.
Is it stocked the fuck up out there?
It is. It's like besides like the things that like all the Asian people like. It's like everything else in like the Asian grocery stores are pretty much there. It's like, oh, you want some bread? They'll make it fresh for you right there, and there you go. It's like you just get some bread.
You know what I want to get, dude?
What?
When I was growing up, my dad made a lot of like Asian inspired food, right? So like a lot of stir fried rice.
Right.
Like you couldn't have told me I was poor because I ate awesome food every fucking night in my house because as long as we had rice and a thing of turkey ham, which you could get for like $3 for like a pound of that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And some onions and some spring onions.
Yeah.
Some motherfucking bean sprouts.
You can make it poppin'.
So for $5 plus rice, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he makes it poppin'.
And an egg. So for $5 plus rice, my dad could feed us like kings.
Yeah.
As long as there was rice in the house. So like, not to get all doomsday preppery, but I was like, man, I would really like to have that 50-pound bag of rice right now.
Yeah.
That you get at the Asian store in the big fucking sack.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, that motherfucker would look real rad in my kitchen right now, bro.
Yeah.
With the way that the real Asians do it, dog. With the fucking, you leave that bag open.
And just pick at it. Just whoosh.
And you just take a big dish and put it in that bitch and just scoop out some rice.
There you go.
I was raised on that method of cooking. Like that's real shit to me.
Yeah.
So, but I was informed by the man who taught me jujitsu and kind of gave me a fucking adult life for the possibility of having one, aka Donald Park.
Yeah.
That over Instagram, he's like, "Yo, the Asian markets are stocked, dog. I don't know, like."
Yeah, I'm
like y'all should probably go check that shit out, cuz.
That was like the first thing I did. I'm like, what are you guys? I know, like, this is retarded. I know exactly where I'm going. I'm going to the Asian place, the place where nobody. You go to where the crime was first committed, as they say in the detective series.
Well, that is the general, the xenophobic way of interpreting the events that we are currently dealing with is to be like, this is an Asian problem and really a Chinese problem.
Yes,
right.
But we don't know.
But like that bleeds over, right?
We don't know.
And it's very easy for people that would never consider themselves to be racist to catch them doing actions that are slightly racially influenced, right?
Yeah.
Like a white person sneezes next to you, or an Asian person sneezes next to you, right? Like we're all conditioned to think these dumb fucking things. And put everybody in a group and be like, oh, it's really this group's fault, so I feel more threatened around this group. It's just no one's smart enough to fucking deal with these fucking ideas in real time, right?
I agree.
If you slow down time, everyone will be like, well, that person has yellow skin. That doesn't mean that they're carrying a disease. That person has an almond shape to their eye. That doesn't mean that their cough is more dangerous. Or if they clear their fucking throat, that they have a virus. Like maybe they smoked a blunt too.
Maybe.
Maybe they just wanted to clear some of that blunt phlegm out of there, you know?
Phlegm, yeah.
Meanwhile, you're like, you stay away from me, sir. Like there's a lot of that distancing that goes on that's possibly being blown out of proportion, but I don't know. That's why I'm just erring on the side of caution. That's what I'm saying. So like, I don't even want to fucking talk about this because it's so easy to say something dumb.
I don't
In
know.
hindsight, we're all gonna look so fucking stupid. So it's like, I love you guys. If you're watching this and you're listening to this, I fucking love you. And so because I love you, I'm following the fucking protocol, and I won't talk against it because I don't think it serves anybody.
No.
I think it makes me look fucking stupid, and I think it could put somebody who I love in potential jeopardy, and I don't want to fucking risk any of that.
Yeah.
I would much rather just go ahead with the V for Vendetta fucking. Just go ahead, put me on the fucking ships, whatever the fuck you're gonna do to me. Just do whatever. So Anthony,
Yeah.
let's talk about a little bit of MMA news.
Oh.
That, like all things, is at least slightly, if not entirely, related to this virus. Like,
Yeah.
and then we can move on to something that has nothing to fucking do with it. Because I would really love to talk about something evergreen today.
Okay.
Like I'm almost tapped out on talking about this topic. But Khabib and Tony.
Oh, I think you're talking about John Jones.
No, Khabib and Tony. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Because John Jones can take us away from the topic entirely, which I would love to get away from. So
Yeah.
let's start with the Khabib and Tony,
All right.
since it is related. So for those who aren't completely keeping up with the world of MMA, there are these two characters who we've been trying to get together as fans and as workers too in the industry. They've been actually working for this, but the fans, which I would count myself among, have been clamoring for a matchup for quite some time, for fucking years. And we're talking about Khabib Nurmagomedov and Tony Ferguson. And Khabib currently holds the belt at 155, which is lightweight in the UFC. He's undefeated, 28 wins in a row, and he's widely considered to be the best guy. Tony Ferguson has something like 12 consecutive wins in a row in the UFC, which is fucking insane. It's a practically unheard of number.
All right.
And because of that, we want to see these two guys clash. They have been put together on a card to face one another for 5 fucking occasions. 5 fucking times we have tried to make this fight, and they have fought 0 times. Now, there have been times where other fighters have been put on a card from across one another, and then those fights fall apart, and they've come back together, like DC and John Jones, right? Something bad happens, they come together, they figure it out, they make these guys fight later. Those motherfuckers have fought 3 times. These guys, they tried to put together 5 times, and it appears now that due to a complication with the virus happening, because of travel restrictions, this fight may not happen. Now, here's the story as I was told it, as I piece it together from all the different media outlets. Apparently, Khabib was training at AKA and was told that, yo, we're doing this motherfucker. Like, we're doing this fight. I know everything is shut down and there's pro wrestling events happening without fans. The rest of the sports are fucking off, and we've canceled 3 events or postponed 3 events as the UFC, but we're making this motherfucker happen. Dana White's like, this motherfucker's happening on the 18th, and hey, we're going to do it in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
So Khabib is like, straight, gets on a plane, goes to Abu Dhabi. While training in Abu Dhabi, he finds out, yo, if you're not a citizen with some fucking paperwork, you're getting kicked the fuck out of here because this virus is getting out of control. We're locking our shit down. And that's one of those places in the world that doesn't fucking play. Like, when they say we're doing some shit, they move on that shit.
Right.
So, shout out to the UAE, because even if we disagree on things, they got jiu-jitsu in the schools. Now, I'm just saying. We might have some fundamental disagreements. But they got jiu-jitsu in the schools, so at least I'll give you my ear. Now, they're locking their borders down. Khabib is like, I got to get out of Dodge. Now, here's the thing. If I've got to get out of Dodge, where do I go? Khabib was like, I'm going to go to Russia. I think for Khabib, and considering who we all believe Khabib to be, Khabib is a family-oriented guy. Now, I don't know him personally, but that's what he puts out there, and it seems to be genuine. He's a very family-oriented guy. And so he went to a place where he could be with his fucking family. Makes sense. He went to Russia. He went home to Dagestan. Russia closed their borders. He can't leave. So whether they put that fight in Abu Dhabi through the back door or talking to a prince and making shit happen even though the borders are closed, or whether they're going to do that fight in the basement of the Apex and tell nobody, I don't know. But if they don't do it in Russia somehow, then Khabib can't participate is the general consensus, and they've started to look for other fighters to fill in that role.
Right.
Fighters like Justin Gaethje have been mentioned. Entire other fights have been talked about. And so we'll see. We shall see. We shall see what happens. But it appears that 5 times we will be dick teased
Yes, we will.
for this fight.
Yes, we will. And it's sad.
And I was so hard.
You were so hard for the fight?
And now, I'm sorry?
For the fight or for what you were watching behind you? Or behind me?
Sir,
Hey, you said it, not me.
for the fight.
Oh.
Now I did just happen to witness a nun take like thorns that she had wrapped around her torso off, and it was pretty rad.
There you go. It was rad, guys.
Let me hold on. Let me let the audience know what I'm watching so that they can watch it one day if they wish. It's called Technical Pandemonium. And I'm going to pause it right now. It's on Tubi, which is a free app that you can get on your phone, on your TV. Tubi is spelled Tubi, not an ad. But go ahead and give us some money if you want to fuck with us, because I fuck with you. This is a movie. It's old. It's got to be early 70s. And it's about a nun who meets the devil and like goes through a little thing. She's going through something.
This is great.
There's a lot of S&M and lesbianism and violence and murder. It's great. It's got all the good things that movies should have.
Yeah. Well.
So yeah.
Well.
So that's my take on Mexicans and the devil. That's my take on Russians and
Corona.
and Corona.
Well,
And,
the devil is a great subject and a segue to the thing I want to ask you about that make you feel weak behind your knees, make you feel super uncomfortable. It's called the Darren dissection. So, Darren, I have learned recently who Rocco Siffredi was, not just from you, but also like actually stuff he says and his mantras and all these things. I'm like, oh, I can definitely see why Darren's into this guy now. This all makes sense now. Like. It's like if he,
dude.
Yeah, it's like this all makes sense now. Why Darren could relate to this guy? The devil's inside me. The devil's inside.
No, wait. What did you watch?
I ain't watch anything. It's just like listening to Two Bears in One Cave talk about it repeatedly. They keep talking about.
Oh, they talk about Rocco.
They talk about the story where he's like hanging out with the Russian, or he has like 4 Russian like actors come in. And then they do a scene, and they're like all big fans of Rocco. And then he come in and do the scene. What they do is like they like slap the woman, like punch her in the face, and like like knock her.
Slow down. They never punch girls.
No, that's what they said. That's what he said they did.
Okay, now if like Tom and Bert are saying he punched a girl, this is not accurate.
No. They're not saying Tom. They're not saying Rocco punched anybody. What they're saying is that these guys were fans of his, and basically they thought that's how like they should be like Rocco. So that's what they did when the scene started.
No.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, exactly like that. He's like, if this is what you get from this, what I do, then I have taught you nothing. I have taught you nothing.
Yeah,
yeah,
dude, they don't see. Look, I'm gonna make that feeling behind my knees go away by explaining the value of Rocco Siffredi's art.
There you go.
First of all, if you're not a person who enjoys pornography in any way, like if you're anti-porn, I understand that. I sympathize with that. Especially if you've been through something that makes you feel a certain way about it. I also think that if you've been through something, and frankly, I have been through some things from my youth, that watching certain kinds of pornography can make you feel a little bit better about the way that you think. And I think it can be a good outlet for a lot of people. And I think it was a very good outlet for me, especially when I discovered the kind of pornography that I tend to watch these days. So with Rocco, I think a lot of people, So here's a funny story.
Yeah.
There's this lady named Christina Rose. She's a porn thespian, and I don't even know if she's currently working right now. But there was a time where she did a scene with Rocco during his big comeback in the 2000s.
Was it the Paris movie?
Hosting, was it?
Was it Paris?
No. This happened in LA.
Okay.
I think it's literally called like Rocco Takes LA or some shit like that. Like I have it. And she's like, I know who you are. And he's like, you know me? You know me? She's like, oh yeah, I know you. I've seen you. Like, and he's like, oh, you've seen me? Like, what have you seen? And she's like, you're all and he's like, me? And he's doing a little slapping, like, and she's like, oh yeah, you're very slappy, like that's what you do. And he's like, no, I'm nice. And like I feel like when people that should not be enjoying that stuff,
Yeah.
like there are people that aren't responsible enough in a sense with their own like minds and bodies to watch that shit. That's all they see. They only know that like, oh, he peed on her and then he slapped her and then he put her head in the toilet. And it's like, all right, like have those things happen, Anthony. Yes. Like, are those things documented on video? Has he done those things? Are they in my closet right now? Yes, he's done those things. But like, he's also like very, very sweet in different moments. And I feel like people forget that there's like a reassuring that goes on that feels just as genuine as the like psh, psh, psh parts. And I think there are people that don't see that and don't understand how like choking and slapping and rough shit can be fun as long as everybody knows that they're safe and taken care of. Like and then they can get carried away and then people can get into weird situations. So Rocco is some viewer discretion advised type shit. And like, I mean, actual discretion, not like, oh, you can't watch that if you're a kid. Because that's usually what that phrase means. It means, no, like, you need to have some discretion about what you're watching and know who the fuck you are before you go watching it. It's like when someone says like, oh yeah, I'm really interested in serial killers. Like, sometimes that person is deeply fucked up and should not be watching that shit.
Right.
And sometimes that person is actually like either helped or not poorly affected by watching it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's very much along those lines. Like, that shit's not for everybody. That shit's not for everybody.
It's true.
But I'll defend it to the death. I'll defend it to the death.
I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm not making you defend
James
it.
not so much.
I'm not asking you to
I
defend
don't even want to talk about him.
I'm just pointing out the similarities of why you would like him. That's all. It's just like, you don't have to defend.
He's a nice boy.
I don't defend. They slapped me. They slapped her. They pushed her, and they kicked her in the gut.
No.
Like,
See, I don't do any of that. I have never closed my fist in a sexual situation. I've never kicked anyone in the gut in a sexual situation. That's not for me.
Cut. What is this?
Like, yeah. No, these dudes did not watch the movie carefully.
No. You know.
They are poor representation of the kind of thing that I like to see.
Yeah.
So yeah, now that you tried to make me blush through my brown cheeks, you son of a bitch.
Did you watch the?
It did not work.
It's
I
okay.
did not get shook.
It's
Well,
okay.
I did actually. I fell backwards at one point.
A little bit. You said he said I have to defend myself, and I will call out. I have to defend myself. It's okay.
Dude, I had to come back.
It's okay. Did you
That was
watch?
pro wrestling like 101. I had to get a comeback. You fucking cut me off. You like hit me with the cutoff. You're hit me with the cutoff. I was like, oh,
right here.
shit.
Right here.
I'm the baby face. You're the heel.
Right
You're like,
now.
oh yeah, well here's something to fuck your day up, Darren.
Here you go,
I'm like,
man.
oh no.
It's like,
I fucking hit the ropes. Came back with that clothesline.
He said, "Did
Waved
it?"
you up, another clothesline. That's my comeback, bitch. I pressed you above my head.
Nah, man.
Threw you to the floor.
Guess what? I don't take my hands out my pockets ever. So get out of my face.
You watch your mouth.
Orlando boy. I'm the Juice Man. OJ the Juice Man. Oh.
He's referring to a pro wrestler named Orange Cassidy.
Freshly squeezed.
Who is brilliant in his own way. I
He
fuck
is.
with him. But he's a baby face. You ain't no baby face right now. You're doing heel tactics.
All right, well, I'll do it like this, then I'll do like this.
One would think, though, that putting your hands in your pockets in a fight is huge as fuck. Like if like, and heel just is another word for bad guy. Like if somebody was like, I'm gonna fuck you up, right? And they're like, and you're in front of your girlfriend, you gotta protect your girlfriend, and you put your hands in your pockets. You're like, oh yeah, let's do it.
Let's do this. Let's go. Ready to fight right now.
I'm more ready than you think, sir. You just do the fucking scrap with the hands in your pockets. That would be impressive.
It's just all headbutts and shoulders.
Headbutts and shoulders.
Yeah, he's just
That's
slipping
it.
and bowing,
Oh,
slipping, and it's like you gotta do a little.
That's how I do.
Poof. He cuts the corner on
That's
you.
how I do. What about John Jones?
Oh.
I feel like we need to talk about John a little bit.
Hold on. He is.
I was told today that he pled guilty to that DUI charge.
Mm-hmm.
Were the other charges dropped? Do we know that?
DUI agrees to 1 year supervised probation, no jail time. Let's see.
Supervised probation.
Yeah.
So another word that I heard was house arrest.
Yes. 96 hours in a community custody program, house arrest.
96 hours.
Yeah.
That's awesome. He must have awesome lawyers.
He
man.
does.
John Jones had good fucking lawyers. So okay. So let me get this straight. I'm not saying what John did.
Right.
I'm just gonna tell you an imaginary story about me.
Yeah.
All right. So one day, Darren gets into a car, and he's got a bottle of tequila in the passenger seat.
Whoa! You started the story off wrong. Once upon a time, you were driving down a road and hit a pregnant lady in your car, and then grabbed your hand. No. That matters in the story. That matters. That definitely matters. That definitely matters. It's like that's where the story begins.
Let's not even add that part. All right. So let's just tell the story like this. So I get pulled over. I've got weed crumbs, visible weed crumbs on my body.
Yeah.
I got a pistol. There's a spent cartridge outside my door. Do you think that I'm going to get like 96 hours of anything? I'm going to get 96 years. I'm going to go to jail forever. I'm going to go to jail forever. They're going to throw away the fucking key. But John's got them lawyers, Daddy. He put them lawyers on him.
It's that. It's that and the community building he does.
And I think there's something good about entering a plea depending on what you're dealing with. I think a lot of people have a hard time saying like, okay, I'll enter this guilty plea. Like you've done something wrong and you still want to go in there and be like, I didn't really do anything. Like, all right, so here's the point, right? If I'm sitting outside smoking a joint, which I don't do anymore, right? Like if I was sitting outside on the street smoking a joint, like in Cleveland, right? And a cop was like, hey, put that out. And I was like, no. And I hit the joint and he's like, all right, man, I'm fucking arresting you right now, right? I don't know, man. I just can't wrap my head around. Like, all right, here's what I'm saying. I think a lot of people would have that situation happen to them.
Yeah.
And then they would still like insist that they didn't really do anything. And it's not that they're not recognizing that a law wasn't broken. Is that like they didn't break their own moral code.
Yeah.
And in that court, they want their morals respected. So it's like, well, I didn't really fucking do anything. And it's like, well, no, you didn't really do anything, except you fucking did something.
Yeah.
And like when you fucking did it, you knew you were doing it. And now you could argue that in a sense, someone didn't really do anything. Like, what did he do? Who was hurt?
Nobody. This time.
So you were found sitting behind the wheel of a car that wasn't moving. You weren't drinking when they found you. You weren't shooting the gun. It wasn't in your hand. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's all this dumb shit and potentially dangerous shit going on around you. But in the moment, you're not really doing anything. So, like, you could have that same dumb rationale. Like, I didn't fucking do anything. I was just sitting there. Yeah, I had weed on me. And I had this empty bottle, and I had a pistol, and there's a spent round outside my car.
And I've been drinking.
I didn't really do anything. And, like, that mentality is dangerous. But if you have a good lawyer, he's going to be like, look, I don't care if you feel like you didn't do anything. Here's what you did. And what we have to do is make sure they can't punish you to a crazy degree. So we're going to enter this guilty plea. You're going to get 96 hours of this. For a year, you're going to make sure that if you piss in a fucking jar or something or anywhere, that it's clean as fuck. That's what you're going to do. And you're going to do that shit. And then after a year, if you want to be John Jones again, you can be John Jones again. But right now, I'm going to need you to tighten it the fuck up. KK.
Yeah. And sign that check for me, baby.
I think that's what happened there. And I don't think that's necessarily bad. I think it's good if you're a wild motherfucker to have people around you that can handle the shit when the shit hits the fan. But then you also have to be able to be like, how much longer can I be a wild motherfucker? Is this exhausting the people around me? Is something you should consider. You know?
Consider
something
yes.
you should consider. Because I only say these things because I'm a fucking John Jones fan. Like a big one.
You were.
Word?
You said it yourself. I am not going to be that girl anymore, but you're going to be that girl.
I'm saying I'm not gonna let this nigga leave me around by the nose. But when that guy fights, there's nobody else I want to see fight besides John and Connor.
I understand.
Like the UFC doesn't have another guy I want to watch.
That's fair.
So like that's the draw for me as a fan. That's the draw.
No, I get you.
So fuck. All right, fine. I'm gonna continue to be that girl, Anthony, and I'll be that girl for BJ Penn, I'll be that girl for Connor.
I think it's funny.
Every time they fuck up or stub their toe or slap a drunk dude or fucking get knocked out outside a club or shoot their gun outside their whip, I'm gonna be like, "Well, come on, guys."
It's all good, man. It's all good, baby.
And so now that we're clear on that, do you have any weird news for me so I can go eat my dinner?
All right, let's see. All right, let's see. I'll show you this video and then we can sign out. Basically, a person dresses as a bush to sneak out during the coronavirus lockdown.
I mean, people have to do what they have to do. Like,
let's see. Give me that video, baby.
Now, where did this take place?
That's a good question. I don't know.
This literally is some like Wile E. Coyote, like Warner Brothers cartoon type shit.
It is.
Where they're like, who are you hiding from? You're just making a video. It's not a real attempt to hide. Like, like I'm not a man. I am shrubbery. Like, shrubbery doesn't grow in the middle of the street. Like, get the fuck out of here. But I kind of appreciate it. It's like if you're in a serious lockdown. Now, is that Ireland?
They say in the UK. They don't say specifically.
It's in the UK, so that's not Ireland. Or at least it fucking shouldn't be, because Ireland's not a part of the UK.
There you go.
Which this is something that's always talked, you know. I think when people get under lockdown, they're not really trying to disguise themselves. They're just trying to have a fucking laugh. Or as they might say over there, they might be saying, I was just taking a piss, you know.
Having a gaff.
Taking a piss in a bush. Well, God bless that person, you know. Like, thank you for making me smile and trying to hide in a bush. But I don't think that was a sincere attempt. Just like that other thing that wasn't real, like that thing where everybody's singing Biggie in Brooklyn.
Oh, that's hilarious. I didn't even know that was a thing. That's great. I'm so happy somebody said that.
It's not a real thing. That was a work.
That's great.
It would only be cool if it were. Anthony?
Yes.
I want you to have a wonderful evening during the remainder of this evening.
Yeah.
I want our internet loves and our friends to also have a wonderful evening. Stay patient during these times, you guys. It may be a bit longer, but in the scope of our lives, it's really just a small piece. It's just a small piece. So let's not get crazy out there. Let's stay.
Let's get crazy. I want to see something. I want to see something wild. I want to see something. I'm enjoying this. This is the best time of my life.
Look at heel Anthony out here.
I am getting jacked. I'm making my girlfriend cry because she has to get jacked too, and her sister cry.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah, dude, it's funny. I'm just like out here like listening.
Is she lifting with you?
No, we can't lift right now because we don't have any weight rooms available to us. But,
okay.
We're just doing the body line stuff and all that stuff and the handstands.
But she's working out with you.
Yeah, she's like, oh, this is hard. Like I can see how, and she's like,
did she legit cry?
No, she didn't legit cry, but she was just like, I can't do this
You
anymore.
son of a bitch! You can't make your girlfriend cry.
Her sister did when we did the 300. She's like, what is this?
And you ratted on her.
Yeah.
Anthony?
Yep.
It's good to see you, brother. This is goodbye for real.
All right.
Goodbye, Internet. XOXO. Anthony. Peace.
Peace.